Hey guys, so we're coming back to Nano Corner this week. I've got some updates for you on the 8-gallon Cobalt tank, a few new stuff I'm trying out in there, and some interesting stuff, so stay tuned. Alright, so going into the new year, I knew I wanted to change a good bit of stuff with this tank. Firstly, I wanted to add a new light to it, and I was kind of torn between either going with one of the Fluval Nano lights or adding on a second Cobalt Light. So I decided to add on a second Cobalt Light, and they actually have a new design from when this tank originally came out. Originally, the lights they first came out with just kind of had one single strip of LEDs, and it was pretty much mostly going to be mostly white LEDs. And it is a plant growing LED. But the new light they came out with is, I would say, is definitely much more superior. It still has the white LEDs in there. But it also has more red and more blue mixed in. So not only is that better for the plants, but it is also bringing out a lot more of the colors of the plants and the fish too. And so naturally, after adding a new light and doing a little bit of moving around on some of the plants in this tank, adding in a little bit more hardscape, you did get a little more nutrients in the water, so I am having a little bit more algae on the glass than I did originally. So I did end up putting in the two Farlowella juveniles from the Paludarium tank into this tank. They've really been chomping down on the algae, and I figured it was a good opportunity to maybe get a little bit more size on them too, and keep a better eye on them, and especially since I'm probably getting ready to do some work on the Paludarium tank. It just kind of gives them a nice little place where they can hang out for a while. The other change that went into this tank was not so much the filtration, because this tank is essentially non-filtered, but the way I was moving the water in this tank. When I first set up this tank, it was originally meant for my white clouds, so I did have a power head in there that was pushing water through a spray bar, which was a perfect current amount for the white clouds. They absolutely loved it. But even on the lowest setting, I found that it was a bit much for the neons, and I wasn't getting the not so much schooling but swimming activity that I am getting now, with the water being steadier. And what I did to do that was I essentially put in an air stone, which is a lava rock air stone, which is really cool because it blends right into the aquascape. I ordered these from aquariumcoop.com. I'll put the link to them down at the bottom in case you want to get your own. But I put that in there, and to power that, instead of using one of my air pumps that I have that's kind of a little bit noisy, since this tank is pretty close to my bed, I decided to order in a new air pump, which is a smaller air pump essentially made for nano tanks. It sticks right onto the side of the tank, which is perfect. I don't have to set up a different place for it. Eventually, once I've had it running for a while, I probably will do more of a product review on it. But so far I'm really pleased with it, and it is much quieter than the original air pump I had on here. And since I do have the second light on here now, and I don't have to quite worry about it being shaded out by other plants as much, I decided to add some of my dwarf baby tears back into this tank, just to see if I can kind of get a carpet of that going again. It's been a while since I've had a good carpet of dwarf baby tears going, and I do kind of miss having it in one of my nano tanks. But as far as the livestock for this tank goes, nothing really has changed other than the Farlowella catfish that I put in here. And when I say Farlowella catfish, they are juveniles. They're probably about 2 inches tops. But the neons are definitely swimming a little bit calmer now. They're not fighting the current like they were before. So I do get to see them closer to the front of the tank a lot more. And the shrimp are still multiplying in this tank. I have, pulled a few out of there and put them in the 40 breeder in with the other larger colony in there. And as far as all the snails in this tank go, they breed and they end up being puffer food eventually. So I have no problem with them in here, so that's perfectly fine. Alright, so that's what's been going on with the 8-gallon tank. Eventually, like I said, I will do a more in-depth product review of that air pump once I have it for a while and I can give you guys a better review on it. And also stick around because eventually we will be doing a little bit of update on the 5-gallon spec too and what's been going on with the shrimp in there. But thank you for watching this video and I will see you guys on the next one.